Oh, hey.
Hello, hello. What's going on? Nice haircut.
I know.
Looking
Yes,
great.
everyone. I got a haircut. I told Matt I just wanted to chop a lot of it off because I usually actually like to cut my hair a little bit short, maybe once a year or once every other year. Sometimes I just get lazy and don't want to have to blow dry my hair so long. So I know this, I forgot that this is the first time that you are seeing me with my
Yeah,
haircut.
look great. Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome,
Um,
awesome, awesome.
So we took a few weeks off, as many people know. I was in Nashville and Atlanta on kind of a whirlwind trip. I mean, I was driving so much, and then I went to a conference last minute. And when I came back, I was just extremely tired and was like, I don't know if I can get on here. So we took a few weeks off, but we are back. And like I said, for those that might have just joined, I am in Miami for EA Ignite. And I'm co facilitating two roundtable discussions on executive partnership and career, let me see, career advancement. Yes, don't want to forget that. And a lot of people always ask if Matt is with me. And as you see, he is back in Pennsylvania, but over here, he's over here. Yes, I brought some photos to keep him with me, so I can
With your
always see your
spirit.
face. Yes, exactly, exactly. And hopefully, we will pray that next year we can travel somewhere together, whether for business or personal, for pleasure. We got to go somewhere. So we have also a special guest with us tonight. She is Melanie Jones. She'll introduce herself a little bit in a little bit because I see that she's on. But this is very special because for a long time, I was looking for someone to partner with in the chief of staff world to kind of have a longer term partnership to do different initiatives to support each other and to most importantly support the chief of staff and EA communities because I feel like there's so many times that things are intertwined or people want to know about what it's like to be a chief of staff if they start off as an EA and just beyond. Like I think that I would love to just partner with someone in the chief of staff world because we oftentimes, even if people don't want to be a chief of staff, we often have to partner with them. And then Matt and I will finish it off with our normal. We're going to do a health hack and we're going to do a Bible verse since, and we'll do we won't do something that we both have read or any content this week just to keep it a little bit short. But let me see if I can have Melanie join us.
Special guest.
I know this is the first time I've ever been with more than one person. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going
Good.
on?
This is so funny because I forgot, like, you guys have never met before.
Nope. First
And
time.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
and
I feel like it's like one of those social media things where I feel like I kind of know you because I've heard so much and read so much on your social. So nice to officially meet
Nice to meet you as well.
isn't
Nice to meet
that,
you as well.
isn't that funny, Mel, that, like, I met Nate today and now you met Matt?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mel and I were recording earlier for a series that we are doing, which is called Career Mapping with Mal and Mel. I told her that this just only made sense for her to join. Her name fits in with, the M's, so you're good. But do you want to share a little bit more about who you are and your kind of business course, Elevation Chief of Staff training?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm glad to be part of the M's officially now. But yeah, so I'm Melanie Jones. I'm so happy to be here and really happy to be connected with Mallory because she's been a really good friend and like supporter, confidant, all of these things along this journey of like entrepreneurship. And there's so many unexpected ups and downs sometimes. So yeah, happy to be partnering with you and just be hanging out again, even though we hung out earlier today. But yeah, so what I do, I've been a chief of staff 3 times before. Started back in 2010 was my first chief of staff role before there was like anything like I didn't know what a chief of staff was. It just sounded cool and my boss asked me to do it. So I dove in. Um, and then yeah, throughout my time, like sort of throughout my career, I was in an EA as how I started my career. I got into project management. And then I really just felt like so passionate about the chief of staff position and realized that there's so many roadblocks, there's so many sort of like frictions and different things, and there aren't a lot of resources around for people to navigate that. At the time, my last boss, I'm now a full-time entrepreneur, But my last boss was a woman, Arlen Hamilton, who Small World, also Mallory is familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was her chief of staff, and she is very big on like having side hustles and huge proponent of entrepreneurship, and then also like monetizing your knowledge. And so I put together the Elevation Chief of Staff training course, which just helps walk people through like what is a chief of staff really? What are the different like hats that you wear in it? What are the soft skills you need to know, the hard skills you need to know? And then what I find is like the most important part of my course is how to then land a job, how to apply for a job, land the job, negotiate the offer, all of those exciting things, which I'm so glad we're going to also be talking about in our series with career mapping. And then the course ends with what to do in your first 30, 60, 90 days. So you're sure that you're set up for success. So I'm super passionate about the EA to Chief of Staff path because that was my particular path. Super passionate about Chiefs of Staff in general. And so happy that we have this opportunity because the job market sucks right now. Like, I'm just going to say it, right? Like, it's hard. And I hear from so many people, they're struggling. And I'm so excited about what we're putting out into the world with the career mapping series because I know it's going to be so impactful.
Yes, and mentioning that, like, it basically officially is Melanie and I going through kind of from, job searching, what does that entail, how to prepare yourself for either a chief of staff or EA role, and kind of going through all different steps of the process through kind of like you said, your first 90 days. And we give 2 quick tips, and then hopefully, if you want more, you can take Melanie's course. You can get coached by me, but it's just a really good way to, and I feel as though we end up talking way longer than 2 tips because we get so into it, but it's definitely a good way to also just get to know us and our experiences. I feel as though both of us share a lot from our own stories. And I'm trying to think of what else. Also, funny story, I should just say this is, you mentioned Arland, and I wish I was back home. I would show everyone the book, but like it's so funny because I read Arland's book. I followed her on Twitter for years. I followed Melanie's husband on Twitter for years, and then like it's just funny how everything kind of came together. So you never know. Like we talked about today, that will be coming out in probably a couple weeks, is optimizing your social media and how that can be used. I mean, it's how Matt and I also met on social media. So there's going to be a lot of good tips in this series, and we hope that you will watch. We're going to drop them every week on Mondays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on the More Than an Admin YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed. We have all the stuff in the description. If you want to connect with Melanie, you want to watch her. I think it's called Chief of Staff show that you have on YouTube.
Yeah, just the Chief of Staff show. Really straightforward.
Everything Chief of Staff. Melanie is very on brand with everything Chief of Staff. And I'm just grateful to you that you trusted me to partner with. And this is hopefully one of, like I said, long-term partnership and figuring out how we can help Chiefs of Staff and EAs. So we hope you'll all tune in, whoever's watching this.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, thank you for having me. I'll let Matt take back over for the end.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you whenever the next time we're recording.
Yes, see you then.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. How do we get you out of here, Mel? Because I don't remember. You're stuck in here. No, I have no idea.
Okay. I'll exit out and then come
I see. Okay. I figured it out. So like I said, I'm glad that you finally got to meet her, because just like she said that she's heard a lot about you and learning about you through social media, I feel like it's the same as with you.
Oh yeah, no, I've been reading a lot of her LinkedIn's, a lot of spicy takes, which is what I like too. So
yes, definitely. So to get into our next segment, do you want to talk about your health hack for the week?
Sure. Okay, so my first health hack of the week is that exercise selection matters. And the reason why it matters is because depending on the exercise, actually depending on the goal that you're trying to do, there are certain exercises that work better than others. For example, I can use the simple case of powerlifting versus bodybuilding. And I'll take a bench press, for example. The goal of powerlifting is to and especially in the bench press, is to lift as much weight as humanly possible, right? And so a bench press in that case will suffice. You don't see many powerlifters opt in for an incline bench press because incline dumbbell press, because that's more so towards hypertrophy, right? But you're training for strength usually, and so you want to pick the best possible exercise for that particular.
Matt.
If you want to train as you want to build as much muscle as you can, then you would use a incline dumbbell press, and so that's practically based on your goals and what you want to do. There are certain exercises that will cater best towards it. Not necessarily you can't achieve the same result. I'm not saying that some exercises are bad versus some exercises are good. But there are certain exercises that will allow you to achieve your goals faster if you select the right one. So exercise selection absolutely matters.
Definitely. And I think that kind of a plug for you is a lot of times that if people are confused, it's good to work with someone who is a fitness coach, a trainer, someone that can help you figure out what are the best exercises for you. Because I know that you've really helped me figure out what kind of exercises are best for me to do during my workouts, even though I did not work out for a while and Matt had me do these squats, and now my quads are pretty much tight as can be, and I have been in some pain, but that is my fault because I did not work out for a while. But I love that. I love that tip. Yeah. My tip, I have two, only because my first one is just funny, which is essentially always smell the milk before you use it. And do not go by the expiration date, because your girl did not go by the smell test and got crazy food poisoning this weekend. So always smell the milk and go by that, not the expiration date. So that is my first one. And my second one is be very intentional about business travel. Okay, hold on. My food is here. So Matt, you're just going to have to figure it out.
Give another tip. Oh, give another tip. Oh, wow. Now I'm being put on the spot. I got 7 people, now 8 people watching. Oh my goodness. I'm usually let Mal take over, but what's up, guys? What's going on? How's everybody doing? You guys good? I hope so. I'm good. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Rose? How are you? It's good to see you. I'm glad that you tuned in. Oh, let's go. Chief of yes, thank you, Mel. I appreciate it. Usually I'm the guy that usually likes to record and then edit everything and then for people to see. So live is definitely another beast for me. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Oh, let's go. She's back. Listen, I was entertaining our guests. So
yes, this is my nice food that I'll be eating after. I don't know. I think I put myself on mute. Hopefully, I was telling the guy, I was like, you can listen to this live where my boyfriend is not usually used to doing live stuff, and it might make you laugh. So
yeah, I think I did pretty well.
I love it. You got to do it. You got to do this. Look,
just more practice.
Look at that, Mrs. Fontaine.
Oh, hey, Mom. I'm biggest fan right there. Mom.
All right. So what I was saying before is you have to be really intentional about business travel with exercise, because it is extremely easy to not exercise while you're doing business travel. And that has usually been me in the past. But for like this trip, what I did a little bit differently is I know where the gym is. So I know that after this call and after I eat, I'm actually probably going to go to the gym, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a late night. But I know where the gym is, so that I didn't say it this time because I knew where it was, and I just was like, I don't care where I am. But you can always ask to be closer to the gym if it's like you feel as though like you're like me, where sometimes it needs to be like the easiest path to resistance. Like a lot of times people will ask to have a room next to the elevator or not next to the elevator. So it's up to you. That's something. Also, you can bring, like, so with me, I bring some stuff in my suitcase. So I always bring, I wanted to show you exactly what I brought on this trip. Now I was driving, so I was able to bring probably more than I need to, but I brought my gloves. I brought my stretching bands because I need to stretch, because I've learned very much the hard way in my 30s that I must stretch almost every day. I brought one of these bands. I brought this for like massage. I brought this band.
Brought the whole arsenal. My goodness.
I know I did bring it. And then these are actually, whether you're traveling for business or not, this is what they look like. If you have bad knees like me, these are very good, because sometimes I don't squat on the floor, but I'll use these, and they're so much better for your knees. And I actually found that tip specifically from someone on Twitter, which actually I think you know, Matt, the guy Jay. I don't know if you know him.
J-A-Z.
Yeah.
Associated
with, he's usually very close, I think, with Zach Como, but he actually was the one that posted it, and I was like, maybe I should buy them. And then I did, and it's been super helpful. So for example, for those, I might not actually go to the gym to do squats, but I could do squats right in my room. And then, as always, I bring my amazing massage gun. Now, something that I've said about myself on this trip, like, let's say you might be like me, which again, you're like, going to the gym is sometimes a lot of work. You have to wear something, like you have to like figure out what you're going to do. My goal is to do like 5 push-ups a day, or to stretch for literally 5 minutes. I'm making myself have a very small goal, because if you're like me, sometimes when I get to exercise and I just give myself something small, it ends up being where I just keep exercising. So that's actually something that my sister says when she brushes her teeth, she does squats. She wanted me to share this with everyone at some point. So here you go, Katie, is when she brushes her teeth, she exercises. And she just, again, it's not about like pushing yourself. It's just about moving your body. So that's kind of one of my tips for health.
I love that. Actually, with the so what are those things that you showed? What are they called again?
I don't know. I think they're called blocks or something.
Blocks. Okay. Yeah, because back when I used to do in-person training, I actually my client actually brought one of those in her bag, and so we usually use that for, especially if you have like very bad ankle mobility. So that actually kind of helps and kind of aids as like a little bit of a heel, so you can make sure that your legs are straight as possible. So those help a lot. Those help a lot for sure.
And my sister just joined. So Katie, since you're listening, you missed that I mentioned you and the tip that you shared with me a couple weeks ago about how you brush your teeth and you exercise. So just want to make sure that you know that I did not forget. And thank you for joining. What is the next thing? We are reading a Bible verse from 2 Peter, correct?
Yes. Okay. And so just to give a little bit of a backstory, so obviously 2 Peter is a continuation from 1 Peter. It's essentially written in between 64 and 68 AD, so first century. And this is usually during the time of Nero. So Nero, it was a Roman Empire, often one of the most demonic Roman empires, because he was just, to put it bluntly, he was crazy. And so there's a lot of Christian persecution. He blamed a lot of problems on Christians, and so Christians were the first to obviously get persecuted. And Peter wrote this book as kind of an encouragement for Christians to stay in the fight, because it is very easy to depart from the faith, especially when you're facing in the midst of hardship and persecution. So that's a little bit of a backstory, just for encouragement and practicing spiritual disciplines.
I think a book like this, like I've said this so many times, probably on one of these lives before, is so much of the Christian journey is suffering and persecution, unfortunately. And obviously it might not be as bad as it was back in the day, but I kind of now view my life as a video game, and I'm supposed to get out of this world, where how do I get to heaven, basically. and how do I protect myself and my purity and holiness to be able to get there. And I think once you view it like a video game, like a movie, it becomes way less, at least for me, way less burdensome. I'm never asking really, God, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? I more so just have accepted life is difficult and it's going to be very hard. And the whole idea is basically, again, this might, for some people, be like, this is not true. This might not be biblical. But for me, the way I get through it is God is testing me and I need to stand strong and I need to show him that I'm still worthy of heaven, even though I know that's not necessarily what it is, maybe biblically, but for me, just mentally, I think that it will help Christians just knowing that there's always going to be difficulties there. If you can kind of just reframe your mindset, I think it will help. What do you think?
Oh no, I agree. No, perseverance is actually is one of the kind of marks that you're a believer. Like, are you like how how battle tested can you be? And just know that through every battle test, you actually get stronger in your faith. It's like, relating to the fact that it is a video game, but each battle test you level up. So you start first. So if you're a baby Christian, you just accepted Christ, repent of your sin. You're at level 1, versus somebody who's in year 25. He's already been battle tested, but the fact is that his faith has grown so much over those 25 years that he is still in the fight. He's still persevering, and yeah. So
yeah.
What are some?
Wait, I just want to say one thing. You ever meet someone who they're super kind, positive, not in the toxic positivity way, but just like a nice person, has very good energy, and then you get to know them, and then months later or days later, whatever it is, a year later, you find out they've been through so much stuff and you're just like, how?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. But as it says in Nehemiah, the joy of the Lord is their strength, right? And so being able to and also, going back to a verse in Romans, is that everything, works together for the good of those who loves him. So being able to stay in that mindset, stay in that, that frame that everything happens for my good, right? And kind of it allows them to have joy in the whole journey. And I remember I tweeted this a couple of days ago that basically the Christian life is the greatest form of delayed gratification. We know that we have heaven, right? Whether we die or Jesus comes back, right? And so being able to have that eternity mindset, have that hope, allows us to really go through whatever life trials that happens, because we know at the end of the day that we're going to be with the Lord. So it's kind of a sobering yet just exciting reality that is what to come. So and we also have to realize that life is but a vapor, right? We're not guaranteed 99 100 years, right? Like, if you think about it, like the average life expectancy, especially in the United States, I think it's 79.8, 80 years old. So by the time you're at 35, you're pretty much 35, 36. You've lived technically half your life already.
Okay,
which is
Matt,
crazy.
I think you need to reel it back, because you're only 26 right now. So let's not give everyone a panic that.
No, but hey, that's just the reality. So
We're living till 90. I told you I told Matt he's giving me 60 years, and then I'm just going to decide on a date when we're done with God's permission, and then I'm taking him with me. That's basically. I don't want to live longer, I think, than 95. I'm going to be.
But again, it just kind of gives us that mindset, and kind of gives us that hope and that joy, that we have eternity on the other side. So
you want to? Okay, let's read some verses.
Yeah.
So the verses that I'm going to read are from 2 Peter, and it is 5 through 9, and I'm reading through my physical Bible because I like to bring it with me. So it says, "For this very reason, make every effort to supplement your faith with goodness, goodness with knowledge, knowledge with self-control, self-control with endurance, endurance with godliness, godliness with brotherly affection, and brotherly affection with love. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being useless or unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. The person who lacks these things is blind and short-sighted and has forgotten the cleansing from his past sins." So the reason why I wanted to read all of those things is, one, I think that they are traits and words that we should remember as Christians, I think a lot of times people obviously focus on the glitz and the glam and what they look like and all these other things. But I think that from right there, we should really, I actually really want to do a YouTube video kind of breaking down each of these words. But I think that we should remember, I just want to read it a little bit again, like faith with goodness, knowledge, self-control, endurance, godliness, brotherly affection, love. I think that if we as Christians focus on those words and exuding that, I think it will not only make God happy, but also I think it will make people view Christians better and want to be a Christian if we exude those traits. So that is what I have read. And then do you want to close us off by reading the 10th verse, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I got it. I have it right here. I don't have a physical Bible with me. I have my computer. Okay. So I'm reading. It says, therefore, my brothers and sisters, make every effort to confirm your calling and election, for if you do these things, you will never stumble. And what that verse really stuck out to me is that when it says make every effort, it's just, obviously God calls us to repentance, but, he doesn't just save us and, kind of just let us be. It's like, no, we have to make every effort. We have to, participate in actually strengthening our faith. How, like, if we look at our lives, what are the spiritual disciplines that are doing that will allow us to get closer to God? Like, if we look at our lives, like, are we getting closer to Jesus? Are we repenting? Are we, does our life match up with the Bible? Like, are we getting to know God on a more intimate and deeper level the further we go, right? And so it's a two-way street, right? So God doesn't just leave us be, right? But the reason why he wants us to participate and to strengthen our faith in these ways, by reading, by praying, by fellowship with others, those spiritual disciplines, is that, it will stand the test of time. Because if you think about it in context, that, Peter writing to these Christians in the time period that they are, it is very easy to stumble, because you have the king of Rome, all right, killing you. So there is no, like, as somebody who's maybe in the Christian faith, who's not necessarily strong, there might be tempted to be like, yo, like, this Christian thing is not it. Like, I gotta go. Like, I wanna live my life. I don't want nothing to do with it. But if we do and add to those things, we'll be able to stand the test of time, right? And as you alluded to, the question that you asked before is that if you ever met somebody who's joyful and just exudes the fruit of the Spirit, and you find out later that they actually went through a lot, it's the same thing, because they put these things into practice, right? So to get to that, you have to do the work on our end too. So
love that. I think that, like you brought up, it's a continual journey. It's not like you read your Bible one time and you say a prayer one time and then all of a sudden your life is perfect and you're all good. I think that it's a continual thing. And something that I always tell people is, and I'm sure you feel the same way, is my mind can get very dark very quickly sometimes if I think about everything about life and what's happening in the world, and I'm constantly having to listen to worship music, listen to sermons, talk to you. I have to constantly talk to God. I have to constantly be in prayer. Like, I have to constantly pump myself up with things that are positive, that keeps me in a good mental frame. So we don't want to come across as if it is so easy, because it is obviously not, but just think about the actions that you take every single day. All right. Anything you want to promote this week that you have coming up?
Nothing coming up, but we are approaching 300 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the John 5 Movement on YouTube. We post every Monday and Thursday around between 9:30 and 10. So the race to 300 is on. So please subscribe.
I put it from my personal thing, because I'm on my laptop, in the chat, and I'll put it obviously in the description as well. For me, it's just watch the career mapping on the More Than an Admin YouTube channel with Mal and Mel that we spoke about earlier. We hope that it will really bless all of you that watch it, and hopefully with the job search and just your career in general. And then the last two things I want to say is one, it is Veterans Day today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has served, because I always say that, you know, the people can be criticized for serving right now. I feel as though it's kind of a weird time. I know I've even had people that are like, I don't really even want to share my service in a corporate setting. But I always say that no matter what you feel, the government, like what's happening, they allow us, like me and you, to not have to sacrifice anything while they sacrifice everything. And I always keep that in mind, is if me and you, we can be on an Instagram live right now and not be across the world away from each other and families. That is a huge privilege, and everyone who has served awards a lot of us the privilege to be able to do that and say whatever we want, even about the country and about everything. So I just want to give a big, big, big shout out to all the veterans out there on Veterans Day, especially also to all the assistants who I know who have served before, who I've had many amazing conversations with about what they've learned through their service they brought into the EA world. So just want to give a big thank you to them. And then I also just want to close and say, if anyone is in Miami, whether this week, and I'm actually going to be back next week with my friend Dawn, who many people know. If you're in Miami, you want to hang out, I am going to be at EA Ignites the next couple of days. And hopefully next week I can report back on some of the things I learned from here. Anything else, Matt?
No, that's it.
You're just
well, it's good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back. 2 weeks felt too long. I'm a little rusty, so I'm excited to keep going. Was it gone 3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks.
2.
Okay. Well, so much has happened, I can't even count the days. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their night. I have been smelling my food for the last like 30 minutes, 10 minutes, and I am like salivating right now. So I'm going to go eat and hope everyone has a great rest of their night.
Alrighty. Enjoy. Enjoy. Yeah.